What is up, guys? Plague Commander here, and welcome to Let's Play Shadow of the Colossus. This is the final episode. 15 Colossi are down, and there's only one left. Let's do this. I just want to call attention to Wander. He looks not too great. If you haven't seen this, if you haven't really been paying attention to the character model, I strongly recommend you go rewatch the first episode of this Let's Play. I know that was forever ago, but still, do it. And pay close attention to what Wander looks like. He's not that rugged. To be fair, he's kind of rugged, but, like, not to this extent. I mean, now his skin is pale, his hair is black, he looks all dirty. Doesn't look too good. I actually don't remember how to get to this Colossus, so I'm going to check the map. And I went the wrong way. Because it's all the way at the bottom. Yeah, I went the wrong way. Alright, I go. Let's turn. This Colossus is one of the farthest away. I still think Cenobio is a little bit farther. But this one probably feels like the biggest distance. And, you know, it should. It's the final Colossus. It's gotta, give that build up. You really gotta, stress the fact that, hey, this is your last venture in this area. We're getting down to the wire here. This is really the end of the game. We've come a long way since the beginning. We were just a scrawny kid with, I forgot to mute my computer. I'm gonna go do that so that my Skype doesn't go off. I'll respond to them later. I really need to start remembering to do that more often. Anyway, yeah, we started out as a scrawny man with, just a bow, a sword, and not too much grip, not too much stamina, not too much health. I mean, to be fair, we're still that scrawny guy, but we're not as weak. Just look at our stats. We are not as weak as we used to be. I forgot to mute my phone too, didn't I? Yep, I did. Phone, you're going on mute. I really need to start remembering to do this shit before I actually start recording. But, I guess that's all in the past. This really has been quite the adventure. Now, I will give my thoughts on this Let's Play as a whole, like, during the credits, because I am gonna have something to talk about there, believe me. But for now, I really just want to emphasize how much atmosphere this game has. One of the biggest selling points of Shadow of the Colossus was its insane scale. And it's not just the Colossi. The world is absolutely gigantic. Most of it you don't even have to go through. There's a lot of places in this world that you're likely never going to see. There, you can take routes that completely avoid most of the big landmarks. I mean, to be fair, there really is not much to do in this world other than kill the Colossi and I guess look for lizards and stuff, but the world itself is gigantic. It's pretty barren, but that's kind of the point. Kind of expected Aggro to jump off that cliff, and then I looked down there and realized it was a far way down, and then I remembered that Aggro has at least somewhat of something you may consider to be a brain. So, yeah, that's not a good idea. But the world of this game is huge, and the fact that you're likely not even going to see most of it is incredible. And one of the biggest complaints that I hear about Shadow of the Colossus, and I'm not saying I don't agree with this complaint, but I do see where they're coming from. It's a completely reasonable thing to not like, is that it does take a long time to get to some of the Colossi. It can be, quite a distance you have to travel, and you can't really do anything on the way there. It's pretty much just, riding your horse, looking at this empty world, and the world itself is beautiful, but there's nothing in it. it really is just completely empty. And for people who don't like that, yes, I completely get it. That is a very reasonable complaint, and if you don't like the game because of it, that is totally fine, and I completely respect that, and I understand exactly where you're coming from. But you know, I like to think of myself as more of a guy who can appreciate what stuff is supposed to mean. Like I really like symbolism and stuff like that. I mean, I'm a guy that plays Silent Hill of all things, so I guess you'd kind of expect that from a person like me. But I really like I like what that stands for. Like in the overall message of the game, which I don't want to go into too much. You'll see more of that during the ending, but it just fits so well. Now we've arrived at this door. Now this door was here the whole time. We just never had a reason to come here until now, because our sword is glowing and it points right here. So this gate, this grand gate that you may not have even known existed, it's been locked shut this entire time, but now it's finally open. Let's get on our horse and get ready. We are almost there. There is a little bit more platforming left, and I believe that there is a save shrine. Yep, there is. There is a save shrine in here. Now, I'm not going to save, but there is one last lizard I want to grab. There's nothing special about this one, but it is here, and we're right there, so I might as well grab it. Alright, lizard, do not escape from me. You escaped from me. Alright, I'm going to hit you. I don't know how that cut your tail off, because it dinked off the wall, but okay, I guess that works. Alright, Aggro. You ready for our last mission, buddy? I know I am. I am sure ready to get our girl back to life. Am I not able to go down here? I guess I'm not. Guess we gotta go the long way. Walk back down the little spiral. Don't want to say staircase because it's just a hill, but you know what I mean. Walk up the stairs. And it looks like we're just about there. All we gotta do is cross this bridge. Only one place to go. Yep, we do lose Aggro. Our only companion in this barren world. The only living thing that bothered to make our trip worthwhile. She helped keep our trip safe. There are places where we literally couldn't carry on without her. Or him. Whatever gender it is, but I'm going to call it a her. But she's gone. There's nothing we can do about it. But there is one thing we can do. And that is to carry on and do what we came here to do. Aggro's death will not be in vain. If anything, we gotta at least get Mono alive out of this. So all we gotta do is climb up this little structure. I don't want to say temple because it's not really a building, but it does have some interesting architecture built around it. That's something I've really wanted to talk about for a while with this game, except there really isn't that much to say. I really like the architectural design here. I don't know if it's inspired by anything in like real life. I'm not too big into architecture, but I do. If it is, Whoever did originally make those designs are really cool. And if it's original, that's awesome. I love how they potentially could have gotten that far to, add details to their game. And that's really incredible. And I really like the architectural designs here. Again, I'm not usually one for stuff like that, but I really do like it in this case. It stands out. But guess there's nothing we can do but carry on. Go through this tunnel here, go up the steps, and we can finally meet our final challenge. But first, we just gotta climb a little bit. It's starting to rain. It's getting cloudy outside. The air is dark. You can hear thunder off in the distance. And if you could see up there, that is the final Colossus. That's not a building. That is the Colossus itself. This is Malice, the final boss of Shadow of the Colossus, and one of my favorite final bosses in all of video games. Before we go any further, just take a listen. This song is called Demise of the Ritual, and it is one of my favorite boss themes in video game history. It is one of the most symbolic tracks I have ever heard in a video game. Now, what what Malice is gonna do is he's gonna shoot these giant balls of lightning at us. But luckily, we have cover to duck behind. And as long as we're behind these, we'll be fine. We won't get hurt. But I really do want to let the atmosphere kick in. I dare not speak over this. Let's just go forward. We've gotten a little bit closer, but we're still quite a ways away. Making a run for it wouldn't be safe. But luckily, there's some more things to hide behind. Looks like we're in the clear. I'm kind of amazed that didn't hit me. That was really close. Got this tunnel to walk through. Luckily, Malice can't hit us in here. But it looks like we're at a dead end. But if you learned anything through this game, it's that I could fall off a cliff and die. Oops! That did not go as planned. Alright, back in the tunnel. As I was saying, if you learned anything throughout this game, it's that if you're ever at a dead end, there's nowhere to go but up. So all we have to do is climb. Except this time we're not climbing on the Colossus. We're just trying to get to him. The battle has already started, and we're still not even at him. He's still shooting at us, but luckily that rock wall is there to protect us. Now we can get back up. Do not fall again. Please, do not fall again. Wander, what did I just say? Do not fall again. Alright. Now we gotta run quickly because I believe he can shoot us when we're in that little open area right there. But it's nothing to worry about. There's another cave right here, But it looks like these caves were man-made. So, begs the question, why are they here? But I guess there's no reason to question it, because we can just walk forward. We seem to be almost there. You just keep running, and there's one more. Ow. That was... Okay, this is bad. This is bad. Wander, get up. Wander, get up. I'm button mashing like crazy. Ow. Okay, this is not good. Hey, look, there's another cave. I didn't know that was there. Alright, I am going to try to run in there as fast as I can. I don't know where this leads. I never knew this cave was here. I can't really see anything. What is this? Oh. Looks like that drops me out here. I think I know where I am. Okay. Wait, is this where I need to... Oh, wait, no, okay. I know where I am. I went the wrong way. I think this is back out by the canyon. Yeah, looks like I'm right. Yep, this is the canyon. Gotta say, I'm actually doing really bad here. I usually never die, usually, don't want to say I never die, but, like, I usually don't do this bad. Especially not on this part of the fight, because this part is relatively simple as long as you know what to do. You just gotta be really careful. That is something I am not good at the moment. And clearly neither is Wander, because he is hanging on that ledge for dear life. Wander, how hard is it to get good footing? Just stick to the inside wall, and it shouldn't be that hard. But anyway, we're back in this cave. Now all we gotta do is climb back up. We're almost back to where we were before. Now, before you think you can just walk down there, you can't. That is there so that if he hits you, you'll fall back down there. And then you could just walk back to where I just climbed up the stairs. But you're supposed to go back behind these. Gonna bait him a little bit. Ow. Yep, that's what that's there for. Alright, come on, Wander, get back up. Get back up. I don't remember that last dash being that hard to make. Apparently it's giving me a lot more trouble than I thought it would. Ow. Why am I doing so bad? I'm actually going to stand here and regain my health a little bit. I do not want to die again. That would be not pleasant. Ow! Well, I guess that health went to waste immediately. Come on, Wander, get back up. Alright, let's try this one more time. There we go. We're in. This is the final cave. Now all we gotta do is get up. We have finally reached Malice. And he is absolutely gigantic. Nothing to do now, but get to his head. This is one of my favorite final bosses in all of video games. The atmosphere is absolutely incredible. It's raining, it's cloudy, it's dark. Wander is not in good shape. The boss itself is massive and absolutely menacing. And the music is incredible. One of my favorite songs in all of video games. Again, I strongly urge you to go listen to this in your own time. It's called the Demise of the Ritual, and it's a fantastic track. Now, it looks like Malice himself is almost like a tower of sorts, so luckily that's going to make it a little bit easier to climb him, but once we get up to about his torso, it's not going to be that easy anymore. I need to stop letting go of R1 because I'm letting go way too early. I also like how Wander kind of like swings himself up there because it's too big for him to jump. Now we're going to climb up here. We're almost at his waist. Swing himself up. And here we are. Now we're going to climb around to his back here. It seems there's nowhere to climb up. But there is a minor sigil. Let's hit it. Now Malice reacts a lot more realistically than most of the other Colossi. He feels something that hurts him, and he instinctively reaches back down to put his hand there. So we can use that to our advantage. We can grab him. Now he's going to bring his arm up. And we're kind of stuck here. Unless we were to try to do something about it. That's going to make him lay his hand flat. You can run up his arm. There's another minor sigil here. What do you say we give it a stab? Didn't do much damage. But he is going to try to comfort himself a little bit. He is not happy. Now he seems more curious than anything. Doesn't really seem to be fighting back. But, hey. Gotta do what we gotta do. It's gonna reach up to comfort his shoulder a little bit. What do you say we take this chance? Climb up his hand. Oh god, that could have been very bad. I'll meet you back up on the second hand. Alright, buddy. I know it hurts, but I'm sorry. It's gotta be done. Let's climb back up to your shoulder. Or bicep, more like, actually. Sorry about this, Malice, but I got a job to do. I got a girl to save. Now, you didn't do much to me, so I don't really know what it's worth. All I know is I really want Mono back. And if taking your life is the only way to do that, then I'm sorry, but it's gotta be done. Sorry about this, Malice. Here we go. We are at the top. Just take a look at where we are. We are at the top of the tallest Colossus in the game. Not the largest, that would be Phalanx. But for standing Colossi, Malice is tallest by far. And we are all the way on top of his head. The things we have done to get here have been questionable in morality. And at this point, I'm wondering what it all was worth. Should I really have killed those 15 creatures? Do I really want to kill this one? Is his life worth any less than mine? Is it worth any less than Mono's, whose time already came? Is it really my place to decide where life begins and ends? Just a few of the things I want you to think about. There's only one thing left to do. Now, you may be wondering, do you really want to do this? The answer is, I don't know. But there's only one thing standing between me and the end of the game. And that was it. That is it. The final Colossus is dead. All 16 of these mighty beasts are now completely slain. I am somehow floating in midair. But that's it. That was the point of no return. There's no going back now. Now, if you remember these guys from back in, I believe it was episode 12, they finally made it. They know we're here. And they are not too happy about it. They want to know just what we've been up to in here. And it looks like they're about to find out what we've done. They seem to be almost familiar with this place. It's as if they've been here before. Now, have they been here before? I don't know. It's never been said. It's just all up for speculation. But they have made it to the shrine. Lord Edmund. There goes the final idol. No. There's Mono. It seems like she's not back to life quite yet. Were all of our efforts for nothing? There is the remains of Malice. And Wander is just on the ground, unconscious. But we are getting lifted. Perhaps this is how we keep getting back into the temple every time. Looks like that tribe has found Mono. Not too sure what they're saying there, but they don't sound very happy. There goes our sword. And those creatures have been standing by our side every time. They're awakening. And Wander. I don't believe this. So it was you after all. Have you any idea what you've done? Not only did you steal the sword and trespass upon this cursed land, you used the forbidden spell as well. To be reduced to such a sight. You were only being used. Eradicate the source of the evil. Look, he's possessed by the dead. Hurry up and do it. It's better to put him out of his misery than to exist, cursed as he is. Wander's made some poor decisions. He's about to pay the ultimate price. But some could say that he already has. Seems like that sword didn't really do much. At least as far as ending his life goes. But then again, who's to say there's still life in there at all? It appears some part of him is still there. He still wants Mono back. You can see him reaching out to her, desperately trying to reach her. But it doesn't look like he's gonna make it. As he collapses to the ground. Looks like Wander has gotten a lot more than he bargained for. This is what he has become. And this is Dorman. Thou served our body into 16 pieces for an eternity in order to seal away our power. We, Dorman, have arisen anew. He's been resurrected. This is Dorman. Those 16 shadows were all him. We have borrowed the body of this warrior. It was him all along. Or should I say, them. Place a seal over the entire shrine before it's too late. Now, for something truly beautiful. We control Dorman. We are Dorman. We have become him. This is what Wander is. This is what he has become. He's been used. Told to kill 16 massive creatures without any knowledge that what he was doing was freeing a terrifying demon. A demon that would eventually snuff out his life, take his body, possess him, turn him into a monster. But for accepting such a fate, who's to say he wasn't a monster from the start? Because there's nothing he can do now but fight against the ones who tried to keep him safe to begin with. There's not much he can do. Mono's still dead. Can't do anything about it. guess what we can do? Let's try to get to her. This is all we have left. We can't even reach it. But the men have escaped. They're able to get away from Dorman. Or should I say, wander. At this point, the two are one and the same. Now, we try to get away from this cursed place. Get as far away as possible. Ready my horse. There's one thing left to do. Something that perhaps should have been done long ago. Begone, foul beast! Seems he didn't even know that was going to happen. But what's done is done. He's trying to drag away Dorman with it. Seems that can't escape his fate, no matter how much he tries to resist. But at the same time, neither can Wander. What's left of Wander isn't much, but what is still there is desperately trying to escape. Now here's one of my favorite moments in all of video games, where all you can do is desperately try to run away. You are controlling this. You can try all you might. There's even an achievement for lasting 2 minutes without, getting sucked up. But no matter what you do, you will eventually succumb. There's no way to escape it. No matter how long you hold off, you will eventually get pulled in. There's no way to get away. And now, the men are trying to leave. And as I said before, they gotta get as far away from this place as they can. What's happened here is tragic, but it could also be very dangerous. And I don't blame them for wanting no part in it. They'd rather be away from this just terrifying place, with nothing to offer and everything to lose. And there's Mono. Never let it be said that Dorman didn't hold up his end of the deal. There were things that he never mentioned would happen as an effect. But he also kept his end of the bargain. Mano is revived. She is alive. She clearly doesn't know what's going on. Doesn't know where she is, why she's all alone, how she got here, or even how she's still alive in the first place. But I guess that's not important right now. What's important is what to do. She's left all alone in the world with nobody around. There's nothing even in it. Wander is gone. There is no one around. She is all by herself. Or is she? Somehow, Aggro is still alive. Maybe she landed in a river or something, but she did not die from that fall. She's clearly hurt. She's limping. Seems to be in pain. But she is alive. And Mano reaches out as if she already knows Aggro. And it's likely that she does. But now the question on our mind must be, if Aggro's here, then where's Wander? And that, my friends, is Shadow of the Colossus. One of my favorite games of all time. One of my favorite final bosses in all of video games. And one of my favorite video game endings. It's been a wild ride. It really has. I started this Let's Play almost, I would say, 6 months ago at this point. And it's finally over. It's December right now. It's after Christmas. I'm probably not going to release this until late January, because that's when my schedule is open for next video releases. It's going to come out after Ocarina of Time. Not after it's over, but just after episode 25 it's going to start. But you probably already know that, as, you know, you're watching this at that point. But it's been a long time. A lot of thought went into this Let's Play. A lot of time was spent on it. And a lot of time was spent away from it as well. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad I did it that way. It might be a weird saying, because I really was, and I apologize so much for the wait for the last 4 episodes, but I'm glad I was able to not necessarily get a fresh start, but a fresh perspective, I guess, is the best way of putting it. I started this Let's Play not really knowing what I was doing in terms of actual Let's Plays. This was my first major, real Let's Play. And I started this out having, not too much experience with it. And after episode 12, I kind of put it off to the side. Did some videos with my college friends, did some videos with Jesse, got a better grasp of what I was doing as a Let's Player. And by the time I came back to it, I feel like that experience that I've went through in those last couple of months really paid off in the end. These last 4 episodes were some of my favorite moments in the series, and I'm really happy that I was able to do it that way. And again, I really apologize for the wait, but I think the series as a whole benefited because of it, and I hope you agree. Anyway, it's been fun. It really has. And I'm very glad that I was able to, share my love with this game with you guys. The men have finally escaped. Poor, ungodly soul. Now no man shall ever trespass upon this place again. At least as far as you know. Should you be alive, it's even possible to continue to exist in these sealed lands. One day, perhaps you will make atonement for what you've done. This place isn't empty anymore. We still have aggro, and now we have mono. Dorman may be no more. The Colossi may be no more. But there's at least one person here. Now, something that I've been very hesitant to talk about throughout this Let's Play is something I want to bring up pretty much immediately after this scene. And you'll see why. This pool isn't empty. There's a baby in there. A baby with horns, strangely. Agro seems a bit confused, and so does Mono, for that matter. But she instinctively picks it up, decides to care for it. Agro seems to be taking her somewhere. Seems to want her to follow. Now, what I wanted to say was that the story of Shadow of the Colossus, and I made this clear right from the beginning, in the beginning of the Let's Play, but the story is very ambiguous, and there's not that much to it. There's pretty much that one cutscene in the beginning of the game, the very short cutscene after you kill the 12th Colossus, and then this very strange ending. The plot of this game is very deliberately left extremely ambiguous, and it's unclear why that is. But I really like that. This is one of my favorite games of all time, not only because of, its message, but because of how ambiguous that message is. You can ask anyone who's a fan of this game, and they could probably give you some kind of different answer than whatever I could say. I personally think that the message of this game is about knowing your place. Know what you should and should not be allowed to do. And knowing what powers are above you. If you know something's going to be a bad decision, and you know there's going to be consequences, why would you do it? That's not to say you should never take risks in life. But you should also not try to change fate. Mono was killed, and Wander should have left it at that. He should have tried to move on. But he didn't. Instead, he broke the laws of his tribe, came to a place he was never allowed to go, stole a weapon he was never allowed to take, and killed 16 creatures that had no reason to die. And in the process, reduced himself to nothing. Got his life snuffed out, was reduced to a horned baby of all things, and is now left stranded in a world with nothing. This is what happened to him for trying to change his reality. But this ending still seems strangely, upbeat. After Mono, is taken up to the top of the shrine, this upbeat music starts to play. And, once again, I'm a huge fan of Stephen George. He's one of my biggest inspirations as far as YouTube goes. And I think that his Shadow of the Colossus LP is one of his best works. And he says right at this moment that every time this music begins up, it feels like he's about to cry. And you know what? I'm the same way. Every time I see this scene, I get goosebumps. Right now, I have chills. And I can't help it. It's one of these things that in video games, you very rarely get this strange mix of emotions that you truly don't even know what you feel. And to me, that is beautiful. That might sound really stupid and pretentious to some people, but to me, that is a sign that video games truly can be art. That is a mark of true beauty, if you ask me. Now, I'll leave you to make your own decisions on what this ending means, what it stands for, or what even happens, because it's not really known. Does Wander grow up? Do him and Mono end up, repopulating the land? You never know. It's never explained. But I'll leave it up to you to decide. For the last time, thank you so much for watching. This has been the Plant Commander, and this has been the finale of one of my favorite games of all time, and is proof, if you ask me, that video games can be art. I hope that if you haven't played this game before, that it gave you a new perspective on video games as a whole, and if you have played the game, and for whatever reason it wasn't your thing, I hope this has given you reason to give it a second chance. To me, it's one of the most beautiful games ever created. And it is a true sign of, to me at least, what makes video games my favorite form of media. Thanks so much for making this, worthwhile for me. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope you got something out of this. I'll see you guys in the next series.